Hello and Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I am Kashif Kamran, and the December 23 results are out 2 days ago on the 15th of Jan 2024. I am now conducting a guidance session for my AAA students post results. Now, this particular session is focused on the students who have flunked their AAA paper and what should be the right strategy they should adopt for the March 24 or the June 24 exams. Now, first of all, if I look at the passing rates, the passing rate for December 23 is identically the same as of September 23. There is no change in the passing rate. The passing rate stands at 34%, and this is identically the same passing rate we had in September 23. So that means that if we look at the global pass rate, AAA is still a challenging paper. And the passing percentage is not changing abruptly, or it's not touching that 40-45% mark, which is with some of the strategic optional papers. But AAA and APM continues to be the most challenging paper, despite the fact lots of students do take interest in the AAA paper because it's a core or an essential part of an ACCA qualification. Today in my session, I would be investigating the journal challenges or journal reasons why students are failing the AAA paper and what should they do in terms of fine tuning to get success in their upcoming exams. Either you're appearing for March 24 or June 24 exams. Now, in terms of challenges, which I believe as a tutor, teaching this paper for last 16 years now, what I conclude in terms of challenges, and I would like to share that with all of you before you can raise your concerns and questions in the chat box. First of all, I believe time management is the biggest challenge in the AAA paper, and I have addressed that multiple times in my regular classes, in my webinars, in my free resources over the YouTube. I believe the students are not doing much of the time-bound practice before exam. And to me, this is a very, very important issue, not doing a time-bound practice. How many times you do 7 to 8 past papers with a timer? You put the timer of 195 minutes and you stop to write when the 195 minutes are over and check how much paper have you attempted. You need to do these time-bound exercises for 7 to 8 past papers, not less than that, because that will give you the confidence that you can do it. Now, for the first time, when you do a time-bound exercise, you might be able to complete 65 or 60% of the paper. But by the time you reach the seventh or eighth paper, that percentage should rise. And if it is going up to 85 to 90%, that is quite good or rather excellent. But you need to understand that a time-bound practice before exam, students normally take it very casually. Every question has a time, and I have spent so much time with students on question-wise time management, even on my YouTube channel. I hope you know of the time management for question 1, for question 2, for question 3. But honestly, give me an answer. How much time you devote for practice at home with time management? Honestly, tell me. I'm waiting for your replies in the chat box. How much time you devote at home to do a question within a time? How many of you do set a timer and you stop to write when the time is up? I think most of you do a practice at home without the time boundaries. Am I correct? Is that true? Or you do the time bound exercise at home? Okay, so Abdul Rahim is saying that's correct. Not enough for AAA. Yes. So, uh, would you assure that you will be doing a time-bound exercise for March 24 or June 24 if you're appearing for March or June? Will you be making a timetable for doing a time-bound exercise? For even if you're doing a single question, even if you're doing a single question, set a time. You know how much time is to be given to question number 1 and 2 or 3. I've done that multiple times, right? With my regular students or with my free students over the YouTube. You know the time allocation, but you need to set in the time, because if you're not doing a time bound exercise, one of the common reason of failure is an incomplete paper. Just before the session, I think one of the student, Muhammad Umar Farooq, was telling me he completed 80% paper. So if Umar, you would have completed 95% paper, your result would have been different. So one of the common reason is the time management, and the you need to realize its importance. You cannot idealize examiner answers. You cannot write long answers, because you need to write the answers which the tutor is guiding you. You need to write concise answer, yet a good answer. Concise doesn't mean you're writing a short answer, incomplete answer. But if you are idealizing the examiner answer, that is a big mistake. And a lot of my students, and a lot of students I interact with globally, they do idealize examiner answer as a success benchmark. How many of you idealize examiner answers as a success benchmark? Because if you are idealizing that, you might be failing again and again, because you can learn from examiner answer. You can learn vocabulary from examiner answer. You can learn an accounting treatment from an examiner answer. You can learn how to write something. But if you are learning the depth, if you are learning the length, that is absolutely wrong. How many of you do get inspired with writing lengthy answers? And how many of you take inspiration from examiner answer in terms of vocabulary, jargons, how to develop something, how to write something? Honestly, tell me. And how many of you just take an inspiration of length and say, wow, that's a big length of an answer. I'll be writing that much, right? So I hope you address the inspirational factor with examiner answer as well. You stop idealizing the examiner answer in a wrong way. I'm not saying you should not idealize the examiner answer, but the way you're idealizing the examiner answer is wrong. You should idealize it for vocabulary, for jargons, for how to write something, for how to develop something. But you cannot just idealize an examiner answer just for the sake of how long the examiner writes. I have made this clear on so many platforms that examiner answer is a tutorial guidance. Examiner tries to write everything to guide you, to facilitate you. He's trying to giving you all possibilities in the answer, but he's not asking you to write the same answer. Then only the examining team for AAA will pass you. So is that clear to all of you? The first point, as the first challenge, have you learned something out from it? Let's move on to the second point. Not linking answers sufficiently to case. Not linking answers sufficiently to case. Linking. I have always addressed this point that linkage of your answer to case is very important. If you are creating a strong connection of your answer with the case study, and the case study is absorbed in your answer, that's wonderful. But if the connection between your answer and the case is not good, is not effective, you're failing the paper. Because most of the time, we don't take the case into the answer. We just try to build up our own perspective. We just try to take our own assumptions. We just try to be very hypothetical in the exam paper. And we try to go far away from the case study. That is a failure. You need to link answer, and you need to learn that, because even if you idealize examiner answers, see how much of the examiner answers are linked with the case material, with the case facts. So any student who start practicing for March 24 or June 24, the linkage, and you start creating a strong link or a bridge between your answer and the case, you are getting success sooner in the AAA paper. So that's the second challenge. The third challenge, not writing in depth. Depth. There is a frequently asked question which I get from my students globally. What is an ideal length of an answer? What is an ideal length of a point? There is no ideal length of an answer. There is no ideal length of a point. It relates to the requirement you are addressing. For example, you're writing an action. The depth of an action is just one sentence, or the depth of a procedure is one action. But for example, you are writing an audit risk, or you're writing a risk of material misstatement, then the depth is very different, because you need to talk about materiality, which might take one sentence. You might need to conclude whether it is material or not. You need to speak of the accounting treatment, which might take 2 to 3 sentences, depending upon which accounting treatment are we talking about. You need to talk about the risk. What is the underlying risk? Is something wrongly recorded, something wrongly presented, is something wrongly classified? And then you need to talk about the impact, what is understated and what is overstated. So the depth of an audit risk answer could be like 4 to 5 sentences per audit risk. But the depth is important. But if you write an audit risk answer for just like 2 sentences, that's useless, because you're not developing the audit risk in depth. Yes, if you're writing an audit risk from a new year or the first year audit, yes, a first year audit can just be wrapped up in 2 sentences. You might say, because it's a first year audit, the audit firm doesn't have knowledge of the client business, and there is a greater risk that the auditor might overlook a misstatement in the first year audit. So there is a high detection risk. That's just like 2 sentences. But when you are dealing with accounting treatments and you're dealing with audit risk around accounting treatments, it might take you to 4 to 5 sentences. So there is no ideal definition of a depth. Business risk, the same problem. In a business risk, you need to talk about the underlying business problem or the underlying business issue. You need to talk about, okay, this is the issue. And then you need to talk about what is the implication of the issue on the business objective. If something is going wrong, how will it impact the business market share? Or how it will impact the business future sales? Or how it impact the business repute? So my business risk might be like 3 sentences, max 4 sentences. Business risk cannot be longer than audit risk, because business risk, you're just talking about the issue and the impact of the issue on the business. So that is it. Ethical issues. You need to explain, okay, this is a self-review threat or a self-interest threat, and you need to justify why it is a self-interest threat. You cannot just say, okay, this is a self-interest threat. No, that is not the depth. You need to explain why it is a self-interest threat to get marks. Uh, Perhaps an ethical issue could be like 2 sentences with a justification. So there is no ideal depth, but the depth vary. So the depth of a procedure, the depth of audit risk, the depth of a business risk, the depth of an ethical issue, or depth of an implication for an audit report will all vary, or depth of a quality management issue will vary. So please ensure, are you developing the point in sufficient depth, sorry. So if other than procedures, other than actions, or other than evidence, if you're just writing 1 to 2 sentences, that's not sufficient. 1 to 2 sentences at all is not sufficient. I probably believe when you are explaining something, it should be minimum 3 to 4 sentences. 3 to 4 sentences on minimum. That's like a proper explanation. That brings the right depth needing by the AAA examining team. I hope you're all clear with that, because that's another issue which the student needs to look into for your upcoming exams. Next, not getting your answered reviewed by your tutor. Whoever is enrolled with me, I always give them an opportunity to send me as many assignments as possible. There is no limits. Still, 20% of my class responds to assignments and get assignments reviewed by me. And among those 20% students who get the assignments reviewed by me, the passing percentage is like 75-80%. But the class which doesn't get their assignment reviewed by me, the passing percentage is hardly 20-25%. You need to realize that if your tutor is facilitating you to check your work, to give you feedback on your work, and you can learn from that feedback, why are you hesitant in submitting the assignments to me? I hope if you're appearing for March exams and you are my student, whether you are enrolling again for my course or not, you can still submit the assignments to me. You know my email ID for submitting assignments. If you were my December 23 students, you can still have an opportunity to email me. I will still be replying you, whether you are enrolling or you're not enrolling in my course. But please try to understand the importance of getting your answers reviewed by the tutor. I hope you will do this time if you have not done that in December 23 exams. Lack of decision making on the day of exam within 195 minutes. I think this is the disaster. You are well prepared. You know how to write. You know the depth of the answer. You know how to link the answer with the case. You have done everything well. You have practiced with time management at home for 7 to 8 papers. But on the day of exam, you take unwise decisions. You don't know in which order should I go with the paper, 1 to 3 or 3 to 1. Should I start with my strongest question first or my weakest question first? Which section to start first with, A or B? And you take unwise decision which spoil your exam sitting. Or you does not know a requirement for 7 to 8 marks, and you keep thinking about it, and that starts building your stress level. And just for something like 7 to 8 marks, you are coming under stress and you are spoiling your 90 to 92% of the paper. I don't know what happens to student in the exam hall. I've seen students who are excellently prepared and you even expect some very good marks from them. They go down to the exam hall and they lose confidence. Why? What happens to you when you look at a new case study of audit risk? What happens to you when you look at a new case study for ethical issues? You know the techniques. You simply need to apply them. Even if you don't know something, sideline it. Look at the positive side. Look at the optimistic side. Because I always believe that if you are optimistic, you're looking at the positive side of things. You're looking at how much you know, rather than you're not looking at how much you don't know, you will pass. Because if in the exam paper, you keep focusing on, I don't know this, I don't know this, and you keep building the stress, what are you doing with 195 minutes? Rather, if you even know 75% of the paper, try to excel the 75% of the paper, you can still pass. Rather than you don't know 25% of the paper and you are taking a burden of that on you. You're taking a stress of that on you and you're spoiling the 75% marks. So please look at the bigger picture. Take wise decisions on the day of exam. Now tell me, all of you who are taking this as a live session, point number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which one relates with you as a reason of failure for December 23? Which of the point, give me the number, which of the point relates with your failure in December 23? Give me an honest feedback. Okay, point 4, Muhammad Haris. Okay, point 1, Samuel. Okay, point 3, Adnan. Okay, point 2 and 4. Point 1 to 4, Abdul Rahim. Adarsh, point number 3. Okay, so are you finding something where you need to work on? Because once the result is out, what you need to do, you cannot just be you cannot just be in a state of shock for 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. You need to overcome the state of shock. To me, failure is a learning. To me, failure is the start of success. Be positive. If you have failed, no worries. That's not the end of the world. You have March exams, you have June exams. Think about whether you can go for March or you can go for June. We'll just come to that shortly. And then come to the point that, okay, this is my weakness. Because even 48 hours after the results are announced, I am still getting questions from students. Can you tell me why I failed? Can you tell me why I failed? Is it can I tell you why you failed? Or you know why you failed? Yes, I can identify the bigger issues why a student failed, just like the ones on the screen. But it is your responsibility to identify why you failed and start working on them. I hope by the end of this session today, you all will identify your lackings, you will investigate your issues, and you will work upon them. Because a lot of time, the student just keep themselves under stress after the results are out and they get failed. And they think that, okay, that's the end of the world. Be positive. Failure is a learning. Learn from your mistakes. And you can score 70 marks in the next attempt. You can score 75 marks in the next attempt. Aim for high marks. Aim for something high. Why you keep your morale low? You need to pump yourself up. You need to keep yourself motivated all times. I hope you will benefit from it. Okay. Failing scenarios post result. Now, In the last 48 hours, I have got some failing scenarios from students, and I would like to share them. I hope that this will address your concerns as well. Number one student asked me, it was my first attempt and I failed within 45 to 49. What should I do? Should I go for an administrative review? No. I never favor administrative review because I believe administrative review is a waste of time and resource. You can put that time and resource on your next exam sitting. The marking process of ACCA is rigorous. If a student fails at 48 and 49, your paper is double checked. So if you're worried about there could be some arithmetical blunders, not at all. So first of all, just sideline the administrative review from your mindset. Now focus what to do. If you failed at 45 to 49, should I enroll for a full course? No. What should I do? Practice. Practice recent past papers within time management and get them reviewed by the tutor, and that is it. 45 to 49 means you had a good failure. I normally say 45 to 49 is a good failure. You just need to fine tune yourself for March exams. Can I go with March sitting with 45 to 49 failure considering it's my first attempt? Yes, you should go for March. You should go for March 24. Should I take a regular course? To me, no. You should just sit down with the past papers, practice them within the time management. You can read examiner reports and you can send your answers for review to your tutor. The second scenario is a bit different. First attempt, and I failed with less than 40 marks, 35, 34, 33, anything. Should I rebook a course? Yes. Should I take the course? Yes. Should I go for March? Yes. Ideally. Unless and until you started to prepare for another paper and you've already done 50% of that paper before the result was out. And now you think, okay, I can defer my AAA to June and I can give that other paper in March. Fine. That's your decision. And it's not a bad decision. But with less than 40% marks, should you rebook a course? Yes, you should rebook a course again and a full course, right? Because under 40 means there is some technical issues. You're lacking technically. It's not about practice. That means you've not covered the articles, you've not read the articles, you've not gone into the lectures very well. So that means you need to rebook the course as quickly as possible with less than 40 marks. Then there is another scenario from the student which says multiple attempts and I'm failing in 45 to 49. This happens every time. A student messaged me 5 attempts, 4 attempts, 6 attempts, I'm failing. And you ask him why. He says, I don't know. That's the most good answer you get from a student. After even 5 attempts, he doesn't know why he's failing. That's amazing, right? Then who else know why you're failing? Okay, you're failing. What are you doing to overcome it? And he says, I don't know what to do. After 5 attempts, seriously, you don't know what to do? You have not even investigated where you are going wrong, which areas are weak, which topics are weak. You've not yet investigated that. At times, the students give you so surprising answers that you're shocked as a tutor. Have you not investigated where are you lacking in risk, in ethics, in quality management, in reporting? In the exam, what happens wrong? Section A, Section B. Where you come in panic? You are the best judge, right? But if you are failing with multiple attempts of 45 to 49, you ask a question, have you previously taken classes? And the student says no. Then for sure, you need to rebook a class as soon as possible. Rebook or book a class as soon as possible. Because if you have not taken any classes in the last 5 attempts or 4 attempts since you're failing, with 45 and 49, book a class first with whomever you want to book in. Number 2, not previously taken classes, the previously taken classes, then I would prefer, really sorry, I just need to erase this out. If you've previously taken classes from a tutor, in this multiple attempts, I would suggest the student, if possible, take a break from March. March, if possible, break. Don't give AAA in March. Aim for AAA in June with a proper, wise strategy. Try to overcome the challenges which I have addressed in my session today, and try to ensure you get your past paper answers reviewed by your tutor as much as possible. But if you think that March is your last exam sitting, your ACCA papers will expire, you need to redo your papers because there is a time limit, then obviously you have to go for March. Otherwise, if you have a space, I would prefer take a break, go for June. That break should be worked positively, interact with your tutor, get connected with your tutor, try to get some short course from your tutor, and try to get a facility of getting your papers checked from the tutor. But yes, if you have previously taken classes and you're failing, then what you need to do is you're not taking any classes. But again, you will go for a break from March. You will go for June in both cases, but not previously taken classes. So please book a class. Please book a class. Previously taken classes, you can book a short course, like a revision course, like a webinar, something like that, so that you can get a facility of checking your papers from the tutor. So there might be many students who have multiple attempts failing in 45 and 49. And that is the point where you need to sit down and realize, okay, is a break possible? Can I give a break? If it is, go for June. If it is not, then go for March. Should you take classes? Should you not take classes? I have given you my perception, but again, it's up to you. You want to invest back into the classes, because even with my full classes, you get a facility to get your papers checked. Even with my webinars, you get a facility to get the papers checked. So it's in both cases, right? And currently, I'm running a 50% off for March resets, which runs up to 19th of Jan 2024. So you still have 2 days to book at that 50% offer for March exams. For June, I'm offering 25% off, but the discounts are not being offered on short courses because they're already low priced. You can book for the full courses at 50% off for March and 25% at June. Okay. Okay, let's look at the other scenarios. Multiple attempts failing with less than 40. Previously taken classes, not previously taken classes. If you're failing with low marks, 30, 32, 34, and you have previously taken classes, that means you are not reading articles a lot, which I do recommend, or probably there is a need to change a tutor. Probably there is a need to give a break for March and go for June. Because if you have previously taken classes and you're still failing with less than 40% marks, I think there is an ideal time for a break from March and going for June. Try to think about a change of tutor if that is possible, or you want to go with your current tutor because you're very confident with him. Then in that case, try just to take a facility of your papers being reviewed, or try to book a short course. If you have not previously taken classes and you're failing, again, that's quite logical. Try to take a class as soon as possible, the full course, and again, try to go for June rather than March. All the students taking it as a live session, uh, is your failing scenario covered in the bullets on the screen? First attempt failed within 45 to 49. First attempt failed with less than 40 marks. Multiple attempts failing in 45 to 49. And multiple attempts failing with less than 40. So how many of you are planning to break and give June exams? Have you taken that decision? Anyone? Have you taken a decision for June and skipping March? Anyone? Okay. I'm just awaiting responses from your side. Anyone who has taken a decision for skipping March and going for June already? Okay, Mohammed Haris, you're planning to give in June. That's good. I've tried taking a break, but this has not worked either. Okay. So Sanifa, you're going for March again. Sir, I skipped one attempt to get a fresh start. Okay, you have already skipped Umar Farooq, or you will be skipping now the March exams. You have already skipped. Okay. Uh, Please ensure you get in touch with me. Take my short courses. Try to get the facility of getting your work reviewed, because I think Sanifa and Umar Farooq, that is something which will help you. You can book a shorter course, which will not be a burden on your pockets. But the more important thing is that you can get a facility of getting your papers checked. That is something which will really help you. Okay, Mutani, you are planning to give exams in June. You're taking a break from March, right? Okay, that is quite a wise decision. Uh, Okay, Mohammed Umar Farooq, you're currently my full-time student, so that's great. So try to expedite your assignment submission to me, right, as more as possible, so I can give you a more careful feedback on your answer quality. So please take a decision of whether you want to go for March or June. You want to take a break from March if you're failing in multiple attempts of AAA, or was it just your first failure? If it is your first failure, then go for March definitely. My marks were low, sir. Yes, your marks are low, Mutani. So I believe June is a wise decision. And please take a full course from any tutor, because that will really help you in terms of building your confidence, because marks are low means there is some technical issues. Either you're not reading the articles or you're not investing a lot on reading articles. So have you read articles a lot, Mutani, in your first attempt? Okay, Abdul Rahim, my first attempt and got 46. Definitely, Abdul Rahim, you should go for March 24 without any doubt. Just practice, just fine tune, just try to investigate the issues underlying your failure, and you will go through. December was my first attempt, failed at 48th. Adarsh, I hope you got the answer. You need to go for March, definitely. You just need to fine tune yourself up, submit your answers for review, and just focus on recent papers, and you will get through. No need to go for June, Adarsh, and no need to go for June, Abdullah Rahim. Okay, so one more thing, if you have any further question, what to do next? Now, first of all, what to do next is, should I opt for March 24 exams? I hope by now you must have taken that decision. I've given you scenarios that if you are failing for multiple attempts and you have a space, don't think of March, think of June. But if this was your first failure in the AAA paper and your marks have been 45 plus, then immediately go for March exams. If your marks are low and it was your first attempt, just like 33, 34 marks, then I would still believe June is better, because you need to reinvest in a long course and read a lot, because you need to have those technical mindset very clear before you go for the next exam. Should I defer and reattempt in June? Yes, if you're going through that multiple failures. If your marks were very low in December, then you can think about deferring and reattempting in June. If you have any other paper remaining, you can give that in March if you have started preparing for it, and you can defer the AAA to the June exams. A lot of times the student asks me a question, should we change the paper? 5 attempts, AAA, not getting through, they're frustrated, change the paper. No, never change a paper, because you have already put a lot, even though you're failing, but you know about AAA. You know things about AAA. It's just about fine tuning. It's just about counseling from your tutor, getting your tutor on hold, asking him questions, making a good exam strategy, giving up your 200%, and you will pass. But after 4 attempts and after 5 attempts, saying, okay, I should change AAA and go for AFM or APM or ATX, no, because you have already put a lot in AAA. You know AAA. The only thing is you're not passing it. So knowing the AAA and not passing it, you will pass, but you just need a counseling from your tutor one-to-one, and you will get through. So normally this is a frequently asked question. Should we change paper if you're failing for last many exam sittings? Okay, so Mudani is saying, I didn't watch all your lectures. So that's one of the prime reason, right? You're failing at low marks. So I hope you will watch them all for June. and you will be submitting me assignments on a more regular basis, Mutani, and definitely you will be passing in June. Wishing you all the best of luck. Okay, what to focus on? You're giving for March, you're giving for June. There are some important things in AAA you need to focus on to pass. Number one, recent past papers and within time management. Go to the practice platform, log into the practice platform, and see the recent papers. Do all the recent papers with a time management. With a time management. So this is irrespective you're planning for March or you're planning for June. Irrespective, it was your first attempt or multiple attempts. Recent past papers / do this recent past papers with time management. See all the recent past papers ACCA has put on the practice platform, and please ensure you're doing all the practice on the practice platform, not anywhere else. Number two, examiner reports. I always emphasize them a lot. I would still emphasize them whether you're going for March or June. Please ensure read 3 latest examiner reports. Try to invest in reading the 3 latest reports of examiner. Try to investigate the reason why student fail. Try to relate those reasons with you. Try to self-evaluate yourself. Try to see why student fail and see, does that reason relates with you? Ask a question to yourself. If you can pick some reasons in terms of why students fail, and some of those reasons can relate with you, you have identified your success track. So investigate the reasons why students fail. And if you can do an evaluation and you can identify those reasons which are relatable to you, I think you've already found the right track for success in March and June. Review of answers by tutor. Please ensure somehow you connect with the tutor, get your answers reviewed by the tutor. Your tutor feedback on your assignments would be very important, because I've just mentioned that even in the current result for December 23, the students who had regularly submitted me assignments, the passing percentage was 75%. And the students who are not submitting me assignments or very few assignments, the passing percentage for them was hardly 20-25%. So you need to think about very wisely that I need to make a plan of submitting regular assignments to my tutor for feedback, and I would learn from feedback. Articles. I always emphasized on that. I always tell my student that reading articles is important. I have never given a message on any of my platforms that skip articles. I do say skip books, but not skipping articles. Articles, all of them on the website, published by ACCA, which are currently available on website, read them, learn from them. Because in every article, examining team will give you examples, will give you exam focus, and you can learn a lot from them. So if anyone uh, does not have a habit of reading articles or have not read 100% of the articles, please make it a habit. And that will really improve your passing prospects either for March or June. So to me, these are 4 crucial things you need to focus on. And then, yes, the mock exam ahead of your March exams or the mock exam ahead of your June exams, that's something you can think about wisely. The courses I'm offering, if you're thinking about reinvesting in a course, I'm offering a full course, which is 125 hours. It includes my premium exam technique webinars. Plus, you will get access to my March 24 webinar and mock debrief, which will be after 15th of Feb. Or you can take an exam technique webinar course, which is a 40-hour bundle, which includes my previous premium webinars. Premium webinars are the ones which are not available on YouTube. Includes the March 24 webinar and mock debrief as well. You can get 50% off on the full course till 19th of Jan, and you can get 25% off till 25th of Jan on the full courses. You can get your answers reviewed under both the courses, the 40-hour course or the 125-hour course, and you get all my resources under both the courses. So some of the things are the same under the full and the webinar course. The only difference is the number of hours, and the only difference is that it's a full course. Everything will be covered. In the webinar course, it's only about practicing the past papers. So think about which sort of course suits you well, and then you can message me at a given number at the bottom of the screen, which is +92 333 238 3442, and then you can get your admission into the respective course. So I hope that would benefit you. Now, if you have any questions, you can ask it for the next 10 minutes before I wind up the session. All the participants taking it as a live session. If you want to ask anything, go ahead. Okay, Muhammad Umar Farooq, sir, I failed to overcome the exam room pressure. Akbar, you are a March 24 student, so you will be giving your first attempt in March. So please, if you have any question, you can just ask me over the WhatsApp. Currently, this session is only for students who failed in December 23. Okay, Muhammad Umar Farooq, I failed to overcome the exam room pressure. So have you identified how would you overcome that in the next attempt? Why are you coming under exam pressure? I've talked about that today. I talked about that. Look at the positive sides. Look at things you know, Umar. Don't look at things you don't know. Don't just get distracted with negative things in exam hall. Look at the positive things and excel on those positive things. Neha, sir, I'm taking exams in March. Do we have enough time from now on to read articles and then practice past papers? Neha, you are repeating, right? You have already attempted once the paper, so I can give you the answer. Yes, so definitely you have 45 days. So 45 days are good to read articles. Even if you're reading one article a day, you might be finishing off articles in 15, 16 days. I don't think so there are more than these articles. And then you can practice on the past papers. So plenty of time. But don't skip reading articles. It is important, right? I hope that's clear to you, Neha. Umar, I hope you got your answer as well. Try to look at the positive things, try to attack the positive things, try to grab your marks from positive things. That's the only way you can overcome your exam pressure. Okay, any further question from anyone? Something which you would like to discuss about your failure or your strategy for March or June? I hope you got some guidance from the session today in terms of how you should be going forward to your next exam sitting. Okay, Muhammad Umar Farooq is asking a question. Sir, suppose you are left with 30 minutes and the last requirement is about to be attempted. What strategy should we follow? 30 minutes with the last question? That's plenty, right? Because ideally you have 25 to 30 minutes for a section B question. So I think you can do good. Um, what you can do is, suppose there are three parts, A, B, C. You can write A and B in like full answers. For the C part, when just you have 5 minutes remaining, for example, you can just write bullets. You can just write pointers. So at least by writing pointers, you at least are getting half marks each. So in the last 5 to 10 minutes, rather than writing things in para form, if you don't have time, you can just write them in pointer, in sentences form. So at least every sentence can give you half a mark. So that's how you can take a wise decision in exam hall, Muhammad Umar Farooq. I hope you're clear on that, right? But this is something for the last 5 to 10 minutes, right? Not for the last 30 minutes. Okay. Any further question from anyone about your failure, or you want to discuss something about your March 24 exams scenario? Anything you believe I have missed out during my session today? You're more than welcome to ask it because we have another 3, 4 minutes remaining. Okay, Mohammed Haris is asking a question. I struggle in business risk requirement and quality management. So, Haris, are you doing something for that for March? Are you trying to focus more on practicing business risk and quality management and try to read some examiner reports around business risk and quality management and trying to read some answers around business risk and quality management of examiner and try just to improve the quality of your answer around business risk and quality management? Again, examiner answers for learning, not how long I should write a business risk or how long I should write a quality management. That should not be the case, right? I hope that's clear with you, Haris. Do a couple of papers on business risk and quality management and send them to me for review. Okay. Any further question from anyone about your failure in AAA December 23 and the way forward to March 24 or June 24? We have another couple of minutes remaining for the session to be ended. Okay, if you have no further questions, then I would say you goodbye and I would wish you all the very best of luck with whatever decisions you have taken, either March or June. Please ensure you understand the challenges of the AAA paper. I addressed them at the beginning of the session, and that would be uploaded on the YouTube as well. And please ensure you make a wise strategy for your upcoming exams. Connect with the tutor, get your answers reviewed from the tutor, because that's the best thing you can add to your success prospects for March and June. So I wish you all the very best of luck. Remember that failure is a learning, and failure is the step one to success. And you will be finding that, inshallah, soon, either in March 24 or June 24. Any support you need from my side, my WhatsApp is there with you. You can just WhatsApp me with your query, and I try my best to respond it within as less time as possible, because the results are out. So I'm a bit busy for the next 48 hours, but hopefully after that, I would be responding. My responding time would become more effective. Wish you all the very best of luck. Uh, Take care. Goodbye and Allah Hafiz, all of you. You all are welcome, right?